Hello and welcome back. My name is Melissa Claire, and if you've been wanting to create a change in your life and in your business and you're not really sure where to begin, but you know you need to do it, this video is for you. So let's begin first and foremost about this word that we like to avoid sometimes, but we know we have to do it because it's the only constant in life. It's change. Maybe there's something that you know that you want to change about your life. Maybe you know that there's something that you need to stop doing that is destructing your life. Maybe there's something that you know you want to bring into your life, but you're not really sure where to start. No one really likes to admit that they're holding themselves back. No one really wants to admit that there are things that they need to change. I think this began, I'm a mom. I don't know about you, if you have any kids, but I can tell my daughter the same thing over and over and she doesn't do it. And when I tell her, she's like, I know, Mom. So from a young age, we start to hold really tight this attitude of I know what I'm supposed to do, but I'm not going to do it because that's just not me, or that's not who I am, or that's just not, no. The crazy thing about the mind is it's so polar that it wants something, but at the same time, that one thing that you want, you don't see, so you keep recreating the same reality. Does that make sense? So that's why change is actually difficult, because we have I like to think that we have these two personalities. We have our spiritual essence, our divine connection, that connection that has been with us forever. It's the connection that we feel when we meditate, when we breathe, when we really feel confident about ourselves. And then there's the ego version of us, or you, or me, the ego version of you. That is your name. It's what you like to wear. It's what you like to eat. It's what you have constructed yourself to be, this personality. And your personality is creating, you got it, your personal reality. So if there's something in your personality that's creating a personal reality that you want to change, well, that's really hard, right? And so I have some mirrors around me, and I want you just to imagine that you're looking at yourself in the mirror, and you know you want to change. You feel that nudge inside that something needs to shift in your life. So imagine you're looking in the mirror and you start yelling at the mirror, change! The reflection that you see is not going to change until you change. So if you've gotten this far on the video, congratulations, because that means you're really serious about creating some change in your life. And so I want to give you 5 simple steps that will really help you to create a huge catalyst of change in your life. These 5 simple steps or protocols are actually things that I've discovered over the last 12 years when I really wanted to create change in my life. When I was operating from an ego self-image, right? Because your self-image is your personality, making your personal reality, and who you believe that you must be, because that's the ego that has constructed it, and that's why it wants to stay alive. And then there's that spiritual nudge saying you're meant for more, you're meant for better, you should be healthier, you should be happier, you should fall in love, you should be more compassionate, you take better care of yourself, you should be more honest, you should quit that job, you should stop drinking. All of these other voices and nudges, that's your spirit, that's your soul, right? So you need to decide, do you want to be listening to your soul, or do you want to be listening to your ego? So here's one of the first things that can really change your life. If it feels heavy and dark and it's fearful, that's probably the ego, right? It's probably the ego trying to hold you down in a fear state. If it feels good and it feels like a gentle nudge, and it feels expansive, and it feels like it's from a place of love that will really help you to create a better life for yourself and for others, that's your soul nudging you to move ahead. So with that said, that's the pretext of these 5 protocols. The first protocol is something that you do all the time, every single day, all day long, but you might not be very conscious of it. And so it's about your breath. It's about, most people are breathing very shallow and they don't even really think about it. So you really want to first and foremost connect with your breath. Now, the moment you become conscious of your breath, you're getting out of that like go, 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 beta, life, ego, matrix part of you. And you're going into that more divine connection to your body, to your soul state of being. That's expanding your consciousness. So let's just try it together. And this is something I want you to start doing every day, if you can. In the morning, especially when you wake up, because your mind is nice and it's in this beautiful space of consciousness called theta. So you could just lay quiet for a moment and calm your mind and take a nice deep breath. You're driving in traffic, you're about to get pissed off. You take a nice deep breath. You're about to yell at someone. You're about to say something mean to yourself. Take a nice deep breath in, right? Try it. And I wanted to invite you, go ahead, to join me for a free 7-day challenge where I'm going to be helping you to really implement these protocols. So if you'd like to know more about that, just go to the description below. Number 2. This is also something that is everywhere. It is in everything. It is in you, my beautiful friend. Let's just talk about water, because most people really aren't conscious about how freaking cool water really is, and that you are water, your brain is water, your body's water. Most of the food you eat is water. Water is life. Life is water. And you can actually use water to program your health and to talk with your cells. Like, you are this divine being. So how can this help you on a daily basis? If you just really expand your mind and really step into that next level of consciousness and become so conscious about the water that you're drinking. Like, you buy good water, you put it in a nice cup, you give it some energy, you can put your intention into it, and you're communicating. This water will literally communicate with your cells. It will literally communicate with your body. So drink more water. Be more conscious of water. Understand that water has consciousness. Use your water to heal your life. Use your water to cleanse your body. This has water with lemon, that's why it's a bit foggy. And I'm gonna have a little sip. Let's move on to number 3. Gotta look down because I took notes, because I get a little nervous on camera. Number 3 is all about conscious thought. So when I say the word conscious thought, you have to realize that you are actually operating on 95% of subconscious thought. Now, of course, a lot of those subconscious thoughts are helping your heart to beat, your eyes to blink, and it's doing all the movements of your body. But I just want you to realize that conscious thought is actually, I'm going to go a little nerdy into the quantum physics part of this. And I want you to imagine that everything that you're thinking is actually in a bubble around you. This is how I like to say it with my clients, right? It's in a bubble around you, which is creating your conscious thought field, which is actually in quantum physics called the information field. You literally have a field of information around you, because remember, everything even in your DNA is really information. There's a lot of information around you of your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions. That is what the information field is about. So what are conscious thoughts? Thoughts are thoughts that, like, before you go to eat something that you know you're not supposed to eat, you're like, oh, I promised myself I wouldn't eat this. A conscious thought is, I said I was going to call so-and-so and I should. A conscious thought is actually when you're being creative, like when you first go on a date with someone, you want to show up as your best and you're being very creative and you're very in the moment. That's conscious, that you're being conscious in the moment. You're consciously choosing better foods, right? You're consciously choosing to drink water or to breathe. Those are conscious thoughts. Unconscious thoughts are the thoughts that you have so many times over and over that are so programmed in your information field, in your mind, that you're literally affirming them all the time. Like, oh, that never works out for me. Like, oh, that always happens. Oh, I'm always late. Oh, I can never find my keys. I could never do that. Nobody wants to blah, 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 blah. Those are your unconscious thoughts, and they can go deep, all right? So I really want to invite you not only to join the challenge so that this is easier to take a deep dive into what you're really thinking, but I want you to really take a deep dive into what you're really thinking. What is really, if you could really imagine that there is this a bubble around you and that there's all these little points of your thoughts, what, if you could see yourself from an outside perspective, what is all over you, right? Because that's what's really actually communicating with the outside world. Because your thoughts have a vibration, and depending on the emotional resonance, they are going to have different frequencies, right? And that is literally what you're communicating with without even saying anything. Because, like, did you know that your subconscious mind is actually emanating frequencies from your thoughts and your emotions that is literally communicating with other people's subconscious as well? Like, I'm sure you've heard of, like, you've seen tuning forks. You put one on, doo, you put the other one on, it will start, doo, you'll start resonating together. That's why when you see somebody that gets along with you, you're like, oh my God, I love you, where have you been all my life? Right? Because you're resonating together. And so those thoughts that you're having that you're not conscious of, those subconscious thoughts, get to know what they are. And then look at your life and be like, oh, like, you're going to see what's going on good, and you're going to see what needs switching. And that's why you're here, right? And that's why I love what I do. And that's why I've been studying for this for the last 12 years. Because I love to know and to share the fact that you're a divine being that can become a conscious creator. It's all interconnected. It's not separate. Your emotions, your thoughts, what you're eating, what you're drinking, how you're breathing, how you're interacting with people, the way you're showing up for yourself, the way you're looking at the reflection that you see in the mirror, the way you love yourself, it's all coming together. And the more conscious you become of what you're really doing, eating, thinking, drinking, being, the more you take the reins on who you want to be, right? Number 5 is really important as well. I mean, these are all really important, but I want to leave you with this one: a belief in abundance. Abundance allows you, if you have a belief that everything is working out for you, that everything will work out for you, that if you earn a certain amount of money, you're not stealing it from somebody else, that there will be food growing tomorrow, that the birds will be tweeting tomorrow. Abundance is this birthright. It is this belief. You know, sometimes there are difficult times in your life, just like the tides coming in and out. But if you really look at your life and you really think about how freaking abundant you are, and you get on that train of thought of gratitude for everything that you've had the ability to eat, to drink, to see, to experience, that's all abundance. So when you really tap into with gratitude and you live in this belief of abundance, and that your life has this deep purpose, that your soul is here to learn lessons, that there is no mistakes, there are just lessons, and that your soul, not just your ego construct, that your soul is here for a very divine purpose, and that you are safe because there is abundance. There's an abundance of water, of trees. There's an abundance of ideas. There's an abundance of money. It's just knowing how to tap into it. There's an abundance of ideas. It's just being in resonance with them and choosing them consciously. There's an abundance, the abundance mindset. There's an abundance of people who want to help you. There's an abundance, there is what you're searching for. That is the abundant attitude, right? And by your birthright of you being this divine soul, living and having a human experience, you can tap into that. So I hope this has helped you. Let me recap. So number 1 is all about breath. Becoming more conscious of your breath. Number 2 is about water and the foods that you're eating, the frequency that you're putting in your body, because it's one of the same. Number 3 is all about conscious thought and becoming very aware of the unconscious thoughts. Number 4 is all about your emotions and the energy of emotions and how your emotions really are creating your reality and how you can use your emotions either to help you elevate your mood or to bring you down. You can use your emotions to help you navigate what is the truth between your ego and your divine self. And if it feels constricted and it makes you feel bad, it's more likely a lie or a fear. But if it feels good and expansive and inviting, then that is an emotion that you should move forward towards and embrace and use. And number 5 is really about that you are a divine being in the belief of abundance, and that you can create, and that you can live abundantly. And the more that you consciously choose the thoughts that make you feel better, the better your life can become, right? So once again, I want to invite you to please join my free 7-day challenge, where I'm going to be helping you with all of these different protocols. You'll also be having some surprises and some extra bonuses. So make sure you go to the description box